the ATAX committee to order and ask Justin if he'll give us the invocation.
Heavenly Father, we come to you today in this hour asking for your blessing and help us as we gathered. We pray for guidance in this matter at hand and ask that you would clearly show us how to conduct our work with spirit of joy and enthusiasm. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. At this time, we'll take on the approval of the minutes for the last meeting.
Make a motion, we approve.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? Second. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Ms. Oliver, will you give us the report of the state of our money?
Little technical difficulties. Good morning, Chair.
Good morning.
Okay, as of July 1st, 2023, we had $195,806. Cash receipts so far, $71,934. Cash paid out, $22,950. So the balance as of March 31st, was $244,790. Today, there are 6 proposed applications for a total of $190,244. If all are approved, that will leave us a balance of $54,546. Any questions?
Anybody have any questions?
Okay, thank you.
That reimbursement on the festival, what was that? What did they reimburse for?
It's just a little bit of money that they didn't use.
Okay.
Spend, so
Gotcha.
they reimbursed it. They have to follow and spend it exactly as they ask, and if there's anything left over, they have to give it back.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Our first item for discussion is the consideration of the request for funds from the City of Hardyville Festival on Main. Jennifer? Neil?
Neil's gonna do it this year.
Neil, okay.
With me. Message for you too. Good morning.
Good morning.
For the ones that don't know me, I'm Neil Parsons, the Director of Administrative Services here for the city. Also help fundraise, grant writing, different things of that sort, multiple different aspects. One of the reasons you're seeing me this year, as opposed to always Jennifer's being up here, is that some of the internal things that we've done this year for the Festival of Maine, we installed a executive committee to help Jennifer, and Jennifer's done a great job over the years and stuff, but trying to improve the internal process and our communications internally. We established this executive committee to also help Jennifer and stuff make this as accessible as it can be moving forward. And with that executive committee is Jennifer, myself, Chief of Police Sam Woodward, the municipal judge Nancy Gutierrez, and our Director of Communications and IT James Kimbrell. So that makes up the group. We meet on a regular basis, trying to get this project and stuff moving. We know that it's overall the best project and the stuff the city has each year as far as the number of people and stuff it draws, and it keeps on getting bigger. And with that, the challenges and stuff is how do we make it better each year? And that's some of the reasons and stuff that we're here with this application. I think you all have the application and stuff in front of you. For this year, we have asked that it would be modified to the amount be $67,400. The total budget would be $145. As you indicated, and Tim, I think you pointed it out, sir, that while we gave back money last year, I think it ended up being like $2,500 or something of that sort. So once we establish that budget, we follow that budget, but it's anticipation of what we estimate versus what those costs come back in is sometimes that difference and stuff where that money and stuff goes forward. And that would be the same stuff with this year. As we go through the budget, we put it in there. If something comes in less or whatever, we return that money and stuff back to ATAX at the end of the year after we go through that process. And you look at that and you say, oh, that's a big number or stuff. And I know we talked about before. It's like how do we cover the rest of it? So the rest of that money and stuff is covered through general gov and also sponsorships that we go through. And as each of you all know, that the sponsorships is something that we anticipate that don't change much, but it can always be so. We got several large sponsors. If one of those large sponsors ever drops out, that money and stuff is, this is something we can't make up. And if you take several small sponsors, that also adds up. So it's that money with the ATAX money and general gov funds is what comprises that budget and stuff for this project. So I'm happy to answer any questions and stuff that you may have regarding the project. Whatever I can't answer, Jennifer's right here beside me. We're looking for this year to be bigger and better than ever. Last year, I think we brought in more than 8,000 people. Roughly more than 4,000 of that was actually considered tourists. When you start looking at that, that's 55 miles out. That's that. When you start thinking about map geography and stuff, that's people from Fripp Island coming here. You think, oh, that's Beaver County. No, they're outside the limits. So that's actually tourists and stuff. Then you start looking at people, Jasper County, the northwestern portion of the map coming. That's actually tourists because it falls outside that 55 mile range. But you're having people coming from multiple states and stuff now. So what's happening is somewhere or another, when they're here, you have 8,000 people here, they're spending money in the city. It's whether it's gas stations, some maybe stay in hotels, some restaurants, whatever that sort. They're here spending money, and that's what the thing is supposed to be, is for us to show a good time for the residents and community and stuff around us, but drawing as many people and stuff here to the city that we possibly can. And it's been such a success. We've been proud of it. I know we had a COVID year a couple of times, but it's really has increased each year, and it's amazing what the work and stuff that the group has done, and kudos to Jennifer and stuff. She's done an amazing job each year. So.
I did have one question, but can I see that for a second? There was a line item for food,
That's what I was looking at.
and I don't remember the cost, but what is that primarily for? Is that for setup?
That is correct. So it would be for the acts and stuff that would be here that's performing the band.
Oh, okay, it's for
things of that
them.
sort.
Oh.
Can include the food for the staff or whatever that sort that's working that event. So that's what ideally what the food cost and stuff would cover. So
Okay.
And we went over that last year. How did we cover that?
do what?
We went over the amount we had on the line item on the budget. So how do we cover the difference?
So like I said, if there's ever a difference covered or measured, whatever, General Cub picks up, or the sponsorship funds and stuff. If we run over, that's the amount that we hit from you guys. That's it. The other two pots of money kick in at that place, and any kind of deficit that we may have, we would pull from those other pots of money to make sure that the cost and stuff is covered. So.
Okay.
Do you recall what was allotted to you last year?
You recall that?
For food?
No, just in total.
Oh, I think it was 44 or 45,000.
Okay. So it's
And then the increase is because of the show that we're doing. It's a
Right.
$30,000 show.
Yeah. So last year it was 45,000. I'm sorry, I thought you was talking about the food itself.
That's okay.
in general.
This is
We spent about right around 43,000. So it was about 2,000 some odd dollars coming back, roughly, if you round it up.
Mhm.
I think before that it was 60,000. So that would be 2022 was 60,000 we asked for.
It was.
So yeah, so we're back in that ballpark of $60,000.
okay.
And the reason why that, like I said, it is growing, and the uncertainty of the sponsorship bucket, even though that we don't think it may change, it may change. So we always want to make sure that we got enough to cover the growth and stuff of the festival stuff as needed.
I understand that. What is the show?
So the big finale. Are we good to say? Not good to say yet.
It's not public yet.
Not public information yet.
Oh.
So
Okay.
it's something different to this area, not been seen here.
Mhm.
So it ought to be pretty fascinating. So once we're allowed to say, we will announce, and I think everybody will be really excited for it. So, okay. But as far as entertainment wise, we got 2 nights of entertainment. Then you got the thing on Saturday as well.
Now, how many sponsorships do you have this year versus last year?
So the sponsorships doesn't kick off to about July.
Okay.
So it's too early to ask right now. So last year, we averaged about 20 people that gave some sort of monies last year, companies, organizations, individual people. And we anticipate about the same this year. Latitude has always been one of our largest sponsors, and Minto, and we envision that to happen again this year. We got to finalize that, but that's usually the first thing. It's like we ask Latitude, Minto, will you guys be the primary sponsor? This is about we need from you, and we do the same thing with Pulte. So they're always our 1-2 as far as sponsors. And that kind of sets the stage on how the rest of the sponsorships and stuff will come into play. So. Oh, the amount?
You need to let them know how much it is.
Oh, I mean, well, last year we raised right around $100,000 for the festival, and I think this year we're estimating the amount being right around $85,000. So, like I said, last year was a good year. That was the most that we'd ever raised. Can't guarantee that happens each year. So it's just this amount of fundraising, whatever that sort. But that would be the kind of the go area again. So again, with that 20 some people that would be the biggest list of people that we go after.
Any further discussion?
Just got a comment. Are we trying to gather email data whenever people come in?
It's so many
Collect-
people who can't get email data. What we're asking for is zip code data as far as volunteer information. We have talked about that internally on what are some ways and stuff that maybe we can do that. So we're still looking at solutions and stuff there to saying what's the best way that we can pull demographic data as people coming in, knowing that they're only with us for a short amount of time. And usually, because we don't do a wristband or anything like that for the general public, we only do it for the rides. So it's basically through, we can do surveys and different things of that sort, but you're not going to hit the people that come to all that because you're going to hit the people that's here locally. So we're trying to figure out solutions and stuff. What is the best way and stuff to do that? And I know that if we look at, which gets into more money and then it goes into more IT type stuff. But if you look at geofencing on the telephones and cell phones and stuff that they have, it would potentially give you more demographics and stuff because people are pinging from this area, but you also can see where they come from. We don't have that software and stuff in place yet, but we've talked about it on how to get that software in place for everything, for multiple different things. So
Some kind of app?
yeah, some sort of app. It's, the geofencing and stuff, which is pretty handy. You use it for economic development stuff a lot anyways. So that would be a thing. If we got something like that, it would be multi-use. We could use it for a festival, but we use it for economic development data, data that you guys often would want or need or look at and stuff as well. Like where's your clients and stuff coming in at and where are they coming from? So
How much do you expect to get from the general government fund?
So basically, we anticipate, we take all three pots of money. The general gov fund would be, and also general gov fund also contributes to the in-kind portion of it. So a lot of your police, fire, city staff and stuff that works it is also considered, as far as the in-kind match. So you take the sponsorship money, take the money from ATAX, general gov fills in any other gap if that's left over at that point. Then also doing the in-kind portions with the salaries and stuff for the staff. So.
Okay.
I have these figures if you want to look at them. Any further discussion?
It's a little puts us in a weird spot where you're asking for $20,000 more for a show that's $30,000. You won't tell us what it is, but I understand the need for discretion.
It's in your paperwork.
Okay, all right, I'll look at it in more detail. Thank you.
And it is in line with what they've asked for in the past. This is the
Yes, ma'am.
past amounts that they've asked for.
And we have also shown to be good stewards of your money as well. So
They did return some.
yeah, we did return some. That's unusual. So
All right. No further questions here.
Could I have a recommendation?
I make a motion, we approve the budget.
Do we have a second?
Second.
A second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion's approved.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Neil. Consideration of request for funds from the Jasper County Chamber of Commerce for the billboard campaign.
Good morning,
Good morning.
you guys, for having me here today. My name is Kendall Malfris. I'm with Jasper County Chamber of Commerce. For those of you guys that are new, I know all you guys know me, so. I am here, the first one, just to give you guys a little bit of background, those of you that are new to the committee. You usually will only see me once a year. That's why you see so much, because I will come and ask. All of this that I'm asking for is for the next fiscal year, which will begin July 1st. So these funds will go from July 1st, 24 to June 30th of 25. That's why when you see on these applications what I requested, what I got, what I've spent, and then it says ongoing, that's because these funds that I have now are still going until June 30th. So that's the way I do it, so that I can get my budget in line by July 1st. So that's how I work this. The first one is the billboards. Also, I would like to let you guys know, we also serve as the designated marketing organization for the city of Hardeeville. That being said, we work very closely with the city of Hardeeville. All of this is their money. We spend it how they want us to spend it. We do the promotion for the festival on Main and you'll see that as we get through these applications, I'll explain further. But we're starting with the billboards. We have billboards at mile marker 22. There's two there that's an upper lower. That's the dog park. There's one at 38 that is a visit, stay, eat, sleep. There is one at, where's the other one? 73, I think it is. But they all promote Hardeeville. They all have the Hardeeville logo. As you know, these can only promote the city of Hardeeville, not businesses or anything like that. So we work with Adams Outdoor. We pay for 3 billboards, and they give us, as an added value, 3 additional. And usually that's the digital at the foot of the Oglethorpe, the Savannah Bridge, and that's the digital on 170. And those are easy to switch out because they are digital. So we can promote the different things, such as events happening here in Hardeeville, like the Festival on Main, or the Easter egg hunt that just happened, or the powwow, or things like that. Those are easy to switch out. So that's what the billboard funds are asking for. And I will be happy to take any questions that you guys have.
Well, like I said, as long as we are able to put on those billboards, because like we talked about it last year, I just don't want something basic on there that everybody would know. But like you said, you put the dog park on there. That made a huge difference, because I talk to so many different people, and they stop here from out of state to come to it, but we put that on the billboard for them to. Now, I do want to see one of the billboards represent the fishing at, what is it, Cook's Landing?
The fishing rodeo?
No, Millstone
Millstone
Landing.
Landing, okay.
So Millstone Landing, I do want to promote that a little bit more on the billboard, because there's a lot of fishermen that stop here and they don't know where to go. And I think if we give them the directions to get there, and it's on the billboard, because people go fishing all the time from Florida up to north, and it will definitely be a destination spot to do something like that.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm always open to suggestions like that you guys would like to see. So, and I will show you, you talked about the dog park. That is our upper lower, and that's what it looks like. It's actually 2 billboards, upper lower, so that's what it looks like. But yeah, I can definitely do that.
Any further discussion?
I got one suggestion. I think you said there's one on 73 mile marker.
Actually, that's a Jasper County one. That's a
Seems
point
like too
south.
far out. But
Yeah, that's Jasper County. That's there's these 2. When I said 3 paid for, these are 2, and then the one at 30.
So 22 and
38.
38. Okay.
So. And then sometimes on the digital ones, we might do the rec center sometimes too for their sports travel things. We have done that before as well.
I think that would be great, especially on the digital. You have so many out-of-towners coming to the rec center behind City Hall. So to promote that as well,
Yeah,
along with the rec center on John Smith, I think that would be huge.
yeah,
We need to pick the most important things in this town and start displaying it, because people will stop here.
yeah. I thought I had a copy of some of the rec center ones that go up on the digital. So,
That's amazing.
and then I had that was rest, refuel, revisit. These are bad copies, but you get the idea. So, there you go.
We have one for the wildlife refuge too, don't we? With the wildlife on it.
I think that one, we have switched that one out. Sometimes they leave them up. If they don't sell the billboard, they'll leave
It
them.
was a digital, I saw,
What's that?
a digital.
You did see it? Yeah. Yes, we have done the digital wildlife refuge.
Right.
Absolutely, yes. Yep.
Any further discussion? Can I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay. Now we're going to talk about the radio campaign.
The radio campaign, what I've done is I average out $1,000 a month. That doesn't mean that I'm always going to spend $1,000 a month. For example, when the festival on Main comes up, I may spend $3,000 on radio, which means there are months in Hardyville where there's not a whole lot going on. So that's just on an average. But what I do is a radio campaign for anything that's going on, such as trunk or treat, the parade, the tree lighting, the Easter egg hunt, the powwow, and of course the festival on Main. The radio is just part of another campaign to promote all of it. And that's how I come up with the number, though. And you can see I provided you all that we've spent thus far. Like I said, this is still ongoing. And on this spreadsheet, there are some things that have actually been paid since then because the Easter egg hunt just happened. So that doesn't reflect on here, but that's what we do with the radio campaign.
Radio campaign just really target, market, local versus,
Actually, it does, but it doesn't, because the radios have a far reach. They reach, Savannah, Pooler, Brunswick. It's beyond a 50-mile radius. So, and I know that a lot of people tend to not listen to radio anymore, and I had discussed that with Jennifer and these guys, but they love the radio, so we do the radio. Like I said, it's their money, so we're going to spend it how you want.
that's local radio, that's not like Sirius or cable, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Now, how much did y'all spend last year on the radio ads versus the $1,000 a month that you received, 12,000?
Well, what you see on this is what we've spent thus far, but I don't have last year's with me, but I would think that anytime we usually spend it all. If we don't, as you know, we give it back.
Right. We went over the budget last year because it shows 14,400.
14,400. Yeah.
So what I want to do is I want to try to see if we can stay around the same budget, around the 1,000 that you mentioned, but I want to change it up a little bit. And I don't know what you think about this, Tim, but let's do some radio ads and let's focus heavy on geofencing.
Okay. Well, that's coming up in the digital. That's coming up next in the digital.
Well, I want to try to stay under the same budget of 12,000.
Okay.
We did go over $2,400 on that.
That's the average administrative fees.
Yeah, it's 12,000. It's $1,000 a month. Is 12,000, and then the administration fees are tacked onto that. That's what that is.
That's what they charge you to create the ad.
Normally, they don't charge you anything.
What's that?
See if we can revisit it where we can avoid those administration fees. or see if we can lower those.
Administration fees?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's administration fees on your side or if it's through
It's,
the
it's on our side. It's what we pay the ad agencies and the chamber. It's what we pay for the work that we do.
Okay.
You wouldn't want us to work for free, would you?
No. But I mean, just a
But no, it goes to the ad agencies and the creative design and all. It goes to several different outlets. The Denarius Group, Compass Media,
okay.
the Chamber. I won't leave us out.
Any further discussion?
I would like to hear the geofencing and attach it with this before we approve it.
I'm sorry, what was that again, Nick?
No, I want to hear about the geofencing that you're going to be doing and what budget you need, and see if we can look at both before we approve it.
Oh, you want to hear that first? Before we, okay. The digital is the same thing. I average out, just like I do radio. I average out 1,000 months. I may spend 3,000 in one and none in another. That's the same thing. But we do target audiences with the keywords and ages. It depends upon the event as to whether we'll target what age or whatnot. And we do geofence certain areas that we think they may be coming from. That again is done through our ad agencies, Compass Media, Denarius Group, that kind of thing. And they collect all that data for us. Those are digital ads, the pop-up ads on your phones, Facebook, all the social media and whatnot. But I treat that kind of like radio, except that it's digital.
Okay.
Any further questions?
When, on a year-to-year basis, do you, when you say they grab all that data, are they then able to, every year, able to narrow it in on the focus of who they're targeting?
They are, and I have all that data if you ever want to see it, but it's a massive amount of paperwork and data. But they do. They can target where it's coming, what age groups that are seeing it mostly, and where they are when they're seeing it. It's kind of scary, actually. It's kind of stalkerish, but
Right.
they can narrow it down, and so that the next time they can target that a little harder.
When we talk about like new businesses coming in the area, or whatever, different things like that, of that nature, from advertising, I use a relation, you got Palmetto Bluff, and my father, who was a law school graduate, 120 years ago, whatever it was, he gets advertising from Palmetto Bluff just based off of his law degree. So, when you look at, or the advertising agencies look at different things of different big manufacturers coming in here and the town, how it's expanding, are they looking outside that, the broad scope of, the festival on Main or Trunk or Treat, and looking at that to market this area as well? So it's not just like this year, but it's for 4 or 5 years out, also looking at that element to try to form a pipeline of marketing.
They are. We try to do a brand marketing of the city itself, but there's a fine line there with ATAX. You have to keep them separate. You can't use any of these funds to advertise businesses or anything like that. It's 100% visitor tourism related.
You're right.
So,
But with that, even stretching outside our radius here, of being able to advertise that for people up north, let's say.
I'm sorry.
Up north, let's say, to come.
Yes, we do. As a matter of fact, with the DMO funds, I mentioned we're the designated marketing organization. There are several travel publications that we advertise the city of Hardyville in through those funds. And there's like USA Today has several publications. One is um, 50 plus. And so, you know, we have a lot of retirement communities here. It has stuff like that. One is national parks, which has the wildlife refuge and things like that. So we hit, and for whatever reason, Ohio is a huge state that folks come from. So we do hit, and that's part of the geofencing and all of that research. We do hit those areas. Atlanta is a big, big area. Um, and when they're traveling through, for whatever reason, going back north, Charlotte is a big stop. So we hit Charlotte. We actually have, as part of tourism marketing for the rec center, we have an ad in the Braves program, the Atlanta Braves program.
Well, I heard years ago when we first moved down here that when you say Ohio and you say you don't know why, I remember hearing a story, and how true it is, I don't know, people that have been here longer might know better, that when Sea Pines was being developed, when Fraser was developing Sea Pines, they sat in a room and they looked around and saw where they could market to the most densely populated area that could afford that housing, that had a interstate that would actually get here and within a 10, 12 hour
Right,
drivable radius, and it was Ohio.
Ohio.
Because they'd come down and hit 77 and then take.
And they're minivans.
And they're minivans,
Yes.
exactly. And so that's where they started targeting. And that was in the, what, 50s, 60s, some
Right.
60s, something like that. So I think that's just
And
shows
it- and
us
it took-
70
it
years
took
worth
off.
of,
Yeah.
70 years worth of marketing, what
Right.
that's done. So I think that's a lot of it too.
Yeah, and then I think everybody, you know, who's in the marketing business, they know that, and so they piggyback on that, and so it just mushrooms into even more.
Okay.
Any further discussion?
Well, I just want to see, because your budget last year, you used like close to 4,600 on geofencing. Increase that a little bit, decrease a little bit on the radio, and let's see what happens this year.
Okay, okay. Okay.
Because I play with both of those sectors, even in
Okay.
business I'm in. And
Well, I say that I'll do whatever you guys recommend, but I also follow the lead of the tourism director. So what she tells me to do with the money too, I try to
Okay.
adhere to that. So
What would y'all think of that idea?
It's fine. Yeah, we can do more geocaching.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Let's
There
play
you
with,
go.
let's play with both of the fields, because like you said earlier, it is scary how we can get into
it
people's
is.
phones.
It
But
really is.
so a lot of times when they're playing with their phones a lot more than listening to music, I think we can grab more people. So I motion approved.
Okay.
Motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
The consideration of the request of funds for the Jasper County Chamber operations for the Hardyville Visitor Center.
Okay. As you guys know, we've been here for several years. You guys, the city of Hardyville wanted, because we are the marketing organization, they wanted us to have a presence here. We've been in the building there at 36 Main Street. Well, that building needs a whole lot of work, and they had to evacuate. Can I say what's wrong with it?
Yeah, I already,
What's that?
yeah,
It's got a lot of problems.
I already know about it.
But anyway,
feeling
so
that.
they had to get everybody out of there to do the renovations and to assess, you know, exactly what all needs to be done, possibly even rebuild. I don't know. But that's what they were. In the meantime, working with the city manager, we have come up with a place to move to, and Justin has come up with a place at the Fairfield Inn. He has a room that has its own entrance, so we can set up there and continue with the visitor center, and it also serves as a satellite office for the Chamber of Commerce. For you guys that don't know, our main office is in Ridgeland, which is the county seat, but we keep a satellite office here in Hardyville because we also serve as the marketing organization for all of Jasper County and the town of Ridgeland. So, but we do have a satellite office in Hardyville. We have a full-time person here, and she's actually doing a great job. We just got her in January, and we want to keep her here in Hardyville. She's doing a great job. So That's why you see the rent is a whole lot higher than before. I went ahead and figured in a year's worth of rent because I don't know whether it'll be 3 months, 6 months, a year. I'm just at the mercy of the city of Hardyville when they tell me, we can go back or we got to do something different. So that's why you see the year. If it comes up and I only need the place for 6 months, then obviously I give the money back to be respent. And with doing that, I was able to cut out the Wi-Fi and cut out the security and things I was able to eliminate. Again, the rent is higher, and then the city of always helped fund an employee there. Obviously, that's not the employee is full time, so the chamber pays the difference for that because she does do some chamber work as well. So, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have on that. Y'all have to forgive me. I live in the woods and I spent the whole weekend in the yard cleaning, so that's what you're hearing.
Any discussion? Do I have a recommendation?
I make a motion, recommend to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Thank you. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you. Next, we have the consideration of the request of funds from the South Carolina Low Country Tourism Committee. Ms. Peaches?
Hey, let me get the mouse. Hey, everybody. Thank you for your consideration on this. My name is Peach Morrison. I am the Executive Director of the South Carolina Low Country Tourism Commission. We serve Beaufort, Colleton, Hampton, and Jasper counties for economic development through formal tourism program. I'm just going to go a little bit of what's going on here. This is our visitor center. It's right at exit 33 off of I-95. Established in 1991. We are not a we are quasi-governmental. We do get some funding through the state through PRT, but we also have to do our own stuff too. So this is, as we are part of Scatter. There are 11 regions in the state of South Carolina, all bound by counties that define, we kind of call ourselves the boots on the ground for South Carolina Parks, Recreation, and Tourism. PRT really does a lot with the big ones, the big five, and we try to do a lot more of the more rural and local areas. Okay, this is one of the ways we market. We have 4 boards on 95 and 2 on 17. They look like this. As 59,300 vehicles per day pass that little exit on I-95, and 11,1 are passing our driveway. So we really love to, we're kind of tucked away, but we also have a lot of repeat people that come and visit us. There's some picnic tables in the backyard. We have a Revolutionary War trailhead in the backyard, also some Civil War earthworks in the backyard. And the first floor is a visitor center, 7 days a week, and the second floor is our offices. Little booger. Tender. This is another way that we market with some of our print ads. We really do much more digital than print, but in a lot of ways, we do a combination of a lot of the print ads nowadays. We ask them, okay, we need some of your e-blasts, we need some of your information on your website, banners and such, thing like that. This is an example of one of our ads. We use a group out of Bluffton, Motiva Marketing, that does a lot of our content management and what the visual, the stills, and also the video. Is it? I think it's sensitive. Okay, this is more and more of our digital campaign. Of course, we use Compass Media also. Kendall Kendall and Jennifer both sit on my board. We have 12 members, 3 from each of the 4 counties. These are some of the ways we do a lot of our digital: TripAdvisor, YouTube, Constant Contact. We have about 65,000 that are on our Constant Contact list that we send out twice a month. This is an example of some of the banner ads that we use. Again, we got some money during COVID that allowed us to do a lot more on the content creation type thing, which we're really, really proud of. The stills and the video, all 4 counties. This is some of our social media platforms. Of course, That has really grown. I'll show you. It's in the application itself, but I have another little slide here that talks about how that's grown. Instagram has been really great. We're getting into the reels and all the stories and Facebook and following that, also promoting that through the digital work that we do. We do campaigns with YouTube. We do Facebook. We do Instagram. We do Pinterest. We do Google Search. We do Google AdWords. We do a little bit of everything. This is what I was getting into as far as the numbers go. You see 22, 23 as opposed to the last fiscal year. Sessions, Google Analytics are up 28%, and it's been that way for the last 4 or 5 years. We've gotten double-digit growth now, and I don't know how we've been able to sustain that and still grow. Now, I think we're going to have an issue this year. It's not going to be, it's still going to grow, but it's not going to grow this largely. I mean, that's for the last 5 years, it's gone 20 to 30% higher users and page views. And of course, with the G4 Google Analytics, that's so whacked out at trying to compare the two. It's going to be interesting because Google G4 is so much more into the engagement rather than what they were before. This is kind of an idea of our social media growth. Facebook is up 26%, constant contact. Now that 57,705 is now 65 on the constant contact. They're going out. That's the Instagram, but that's up. YouTube is up, also the views. And as Kendall said, alluded to, Compass does a great job with their monthly reports. I mean, it's like crazy. You know, they'll show you the MSAs. They'll show you where the things are coming from. Everybody's coming from, what the age, what all those demographics. So they're watching it very, very closely. And this is another example of what we were able to do with the content creation. I think this will go this way. Let's see. So this is one of the videos that we've done. This is Sergeant Jasper Park. Way there in Jasper. So those are the 30-second spots. We have about 10 of them that we throw. I mean, that's part of the stuff that we go through as far as when we're doing all of our digital campaigns. Those are things that we push. We have them in different counties. This is just kind of an idea of what we have on our website. Perrysburg, of course, is different itineraries for what you can do in Hardeeville. And then also kind of day trip kind of thing. Then we push these out in our blogs and in all our digital marketing and all that kind of good stuff too. So what I wanted to tell you, one thing that I wanted to add to this, I mean, the numbers that I'm so proud of, is not just me, it's my team. And, you know, they always say, get people around you that are smarter than you are and you'll do fine. But on that page 2 and 3, those numbers that we're so excited about on what the reach has grown and it continues to grow. We're also we got some non-recurring funds from the state this particular year, about $100,000, and we're putting it all pretty much into a research project that we are combining Gray Research, which is out of Maryland, but they do a lot of stuff with STS, which is the Southeastern Tourism Society, doing a visitor profile study as far as where they're coming from, what they like, what the different activities they want to do, how much they're spending. We're also combining that with Compass Media, and we're going to use some of the engaged travels of people who have the pixels that they have dropped on ads that have gone to those person's phone. What are they doing separate from the ones that haven't seen any of our information? We're also combining with Tourism Economics, which is a symphony group, and they do the attribution and all the geolocation, and they'll know where the phone is sleeping at night, their home base, and then how it travels through when they pick up that pixel that they've seen our ad, and that pixel follows into the market, how long it takes for that. I know it's amazing what they do when they're here, and how they move around. And that's what we really try to do is we got so many people going to Charleston and so many people going to Savannah. We want to get them in the in-between times. And, you know, there's two different markets that we really serve. I mean, there's the leisure travel that does the Fripp Island, the Edisto Beach, the Beaufort, the Hilton Head. And there's also that I-95 corridor traffic that really feeds a lot of y'all's hotels. And so we want to see how that and how we can affect them to stay more here too. So it's mind-boggling, but like I said, you get people that are they're smarter than you and that can keep up with this kind of stuff, and you trust them once they've proven that their work is good. So I'm happy to answer any other questions.
questions? Deborah?
My only comment is, going back to what Rick was saying earlier, with that geo tagging, and I mean, my verbiage might be wrong, but how impactful the technical side of it is now more than print and or radio in my view, because depending on how you feel, fortunately, you can be followed and everything can be dissected of who you are, where you are, and how you can get to. So it's, when we're looking at it for this purpose, that's a pretty strong statement.
Yeah, and things will change. The way that the Google is allowing some of the pixels to be captured and some of them not to be captured. Now, Google has said that they're going to change the logarithm and they're going to not do those privacy issues too many. So you got to understand, and you got to, because when we looked at this group, because $100,000 is a lot to spend between these three companies, but it's money that the state's given me, so I want to do it and do it something that's going to be impactful and useful for all of us. And I'll share anything that I have. But we looked at Placer AI, we looked at Adara, we looked at all these different geolocation companies. And, some of them are prepared for whatever Google's going to throw out and some of them are not. So you have to be really careful. And, as far as the economic development part of it goes, the city can do, there's Granicus that, that's one of the groups that people are using, a lot of the municipalities are using to try to capture the short-term rental kind of idea and the Airbnb kind of issues that are all floating around everybody. There's so many issues, and tourism is a fun job. It really is. But there's so much more that people don't realize that goes on beneath the surface. It's just like a duck. The duck's beautiful on the outside, swimming around, and the feet are going like underneath. So it's a lot to keep up with.
But I'll tell you one thing though, the way you have it set up on this is the right way, because geofencing, like, it's awesome, but this will be one area that she couldn't do it because the budget will be humongous to be able to target. Now, what Kendall did, that one we want to geofence certain events that we have. But when it comes to this, I think it's perfect, because you could geofence a 100-mile radius, but it's gonna skyrocket like crazy. You're gonna spend a lot of money behind it.
It is expensive, but that's, when we have the money to do something like that, we need to take advantage of it. And we have the 50 POIs, the points of interest, so we can put a dot or a little fence around 50 different places in the 4 counties, and that dot can be as small as, just around the parking lot of a hotel, or it could be the waterfront park in Beaufort, or it can be Savannah National Wildlife, or things like that, so you can see where people are moving. And those heat lamps, it's amazing what the technology that's out there.
I'll tell you what y'all could do though, and I just thought of this because I'm working on it. Whenever they have major events, like say the Heritage that's coming up next week, or the Masters, that's where you want to geofence for things like this. So when they are in town, they know exactly what to do. So I think if y'all focus, maybe pick out some humongous events that has massive tourism, come in and you geofence that to promote this and to promote other things that we have, it will bring more people into this town, and that's where you'll be able to capitalize on it.
We use DMO funds to promote the city of Hardyville at the Heritage.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, and I will say, we work very closely together, and I'm very, very proud to say that all of our commissioners are, well, not 100%, but most all of them are tourism people. So it's very important that we talk to each other and we network with each other. We try to cross promote everybody. So I think the world is going more collaboratively. It was very much rice bowls not too very long ago, but I'm hoping that we will continue to work even more collaboratively.
Any further discussion? Could I have a recommendation?
Yeah, I motion to approve.
Second? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Beach. Thank you, guys. Happy spring.
Any further discussion or questions? I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, my daughter's in that world.